For 100 years, every single car ever built has stopped the same way. You press the pedal. Your foot pushes a piston. That piston compresses brake fluid inside a sealed hydraulic line. That fluid travels through tubes running across the entire length of your car, front to rear, side to side, and squeezes a caliper against a spinning disc. 100 years, billions of cars. The same system, and it worked. Nobody argued it did not work. Hydraulic braking is reliable, predictable, and relatively simple to manufacture and maintain. The industry optimized it to near perfection over decades. ABS made it smarter. Electronic stability control made it safer. But the fundamental architecture, fluid, pressure, piston, caliper, never changed, because changing it seemed impossible. The forces involved in stopping a 2-ton vehicle at high speed are enormous. Engineers always argued that no electric motor small enough to fit inside a wheel hub could generate enough clamping force reliably, repeatedly, and safely enough to replace hydraulic pressure. And if it failed, even once, people could die. That argument held for a century. And today, a Chinese SUV just deleted all of it. The Exeed EX7 is the first production car in the history of the automobile to use a fully electronic mechanical braking system. No hydraulic fluid, no brake lines, no pistons, no physical connection between your foot and your wheels whatsoever. Just electrons, just motors, just software telling each wheel exactly how hard to stop, independently, in milliseconds. Engineers at Bosch spent decades saying this was too dangerous to put in a production car. Continental said the redundancy requirements alone made it commercially unviable. Every major Western supplier looked at brake-by-wire and said, "Not yet. Maybe never." Chery looked at the same problem and said, "We'll do it first." And they did. The Exeed EX7 entered mass production in early 2026 and launched on April 19th with the world's first aviation-grade EMB system fitted as standard on all-wheel drive variants. Not a concept, not a prototype, not a limited edition engineering exercise for the press. A car you can buy today. A car that is being delivered to customers right now. A car that proves the argument is over. The question is, what exactly did they build? And why does it change everything? CTA. If you are not subscribed yet, do it now and hit the bell. Because this channel covers the Chinese cars that are rewriting the rules of the entire automotive industry. You do not want to miss what is coming next. Let's talk about what this system actually is, because the name alone doesn't do it justice. EMB stands for electronic mechanical braking. In a traditional hydraulic system, the force from your foot is multiplied by fluid pressure and sent to all 4 wheels through a shared circuit. The system is passive. It reacts. It has no intelligence. Every wheel receives essentially the same hydraulic signal, modified only by ABS intervention when a sensor detects a wheel locking up. The system is always playing catch-up with physics. In the Exeed EX7, each wheel has its own independent electric motor acting as a brake actuator. When you press the pedal, a signal, not a fluid, a signal, is sent electronically to each of those 4 motors simultaneously. Each motor applies exactly the precise amount of braking force needed at that specific wheel, at that specific moment, independently of the others, based on real-time data from every sensor in the car. The response time of a hydraulic system is around 150 to 300 milliseconds from pedal input to caliper engagement. The EMB system in the EX7 responds in under 20 milliseconds. To put that in perspective, by the time a hydraulic system has even started to build pressure, the EX7 has already calculated the optimal braking force for each individual wheel and begun applying it. That is not an incremental improvement. That is a different category of technology entirely. But the real revolution is not speed. It is intelligence. Because each wheel is now controlled by software, the braking system can communicate directly with the car's stability control, its torque vectoring, its autonomous driving stack, and its energy regeneration system, all simultaneously, in real time. The brakes are no longer a mechanical afterthought bolted onto the drivetrain. They are a fully integrated part of the car's brain. In a corner, the EX7 can brake the inside wheels harder than the outside wheels to tighten your line without any steering input. In an emergency stop on a split grip surface, ice on one side, tarmac on the other, each wheel responds to its own conditions independently, not to an average of what the whole system is doing. In a straight-line panic stop, the system can modulate front-to-rear bias 50 times per second based on weight transfer data it is reading in real time. And because there is no hydraulic fluid, there is no brake fade from heat-induced fluid boil, no brake lines to corrode, crack and/or leak over time, no master cylinder to fail, no brake bleeding required at service intervals, no hydraulic fluid to absorb moisture and degrade. The entire category of hydraulic brake failure, which has caused accidents, recalls, and lawsuits across the entire automotive industry for a century, simply does not exist in this car. Chery did not just improve the braking system, they removed an entire category of mechanical failure from the equation. Now let's talk about the car itself, because the brakes are the headline, but the EX7 is not a one-trick vehicle. The Exeed EX7 is a mid-large 5-seat SUV built on Chery's EOX high-voltage platform. It comes in two powertrain configurations, a fully electric BEV and a range-extended EREV, and it is positioned at the very top of the Exeed domestic lineup, squarely aimed at the premium segment, where it goes up against vehicles like the Li Auto L7 and the upper trim levels of the BYD Tang. The BEV variant uses a dual-motor all-wheel drive setup. The front motor produces 123 kilowatts. The rear motor delivers 230 kilowatts for a combined output of 353 kilowatts. The base rear-wheel drive BEV uses a 77 kilowatt-hour battery and delivers up to 625 kilometers of claimed CLTC range. That is a serious number for a vehicle this size. The EREV version pairs a 1.5-liter turbocharged range extender, acting purely as a generator, never driving the wheels directly, with a full electric drivetrain. Combined CLTC range on the EREV reaches 1,520 kilometers. That is not a typo. 1,520 kilometers before you need to stop for fuel or a charge. For context, that is roughly the distance from London to Rome. In a single tank, the platform runs on 800-volt architecture, which means charging speeds that make most European EVs look embarrassing. 9 minutes of DC fast charging is all it takes to add meaningful range. Not a full charge in 9 minutes, but enough to matter when you are in a hurry. Inside, the EX7 features a 30-inch 6K integrated display combining the central control and passenger screens into a single suspended unit, which is one of the largest and highest resolution displays currently fitted to any production SUV on the market. There is a dedicated floating LCD instrument cluster for the driver, zero-gravity seats for the front passenger, a dual-spoke multi-function steering wheel, and a panoramic sunroof spanning the full length of the cabin. The interior uses a two-tone black and brown palette with a minimalist layout that puts the technology front and center without visual clutter. The AI Link C Smart Cabin 2.0 system manages the entire interior environment, climate, lighting, seat positioning, and entertainment through voice and gesture control. 6 trim levels are available across both powertrain options, giving buyers a wide range of configurations from the entry BV to the fully loaded EREV AWD with the complete EMB system. This is not a budget Chinese SUV trying to undercut the Germans on price alone. This is Exeed's direct attempt to beat the Germans on technology. And with the EMB system fitted as standard on AWD variants, they have already done something that no German, Japanese, American, or Korean manufacturer has managed to do in a production vehicle. Now let's talk about what the Exeed EX7 actually means for the rest of the automotive world. Because this is where it gets very serious, very fast. Bosch is the largest automotive supplier on the planet. A significant and highly profitable portion of their revenue comes from braking systems, ABS units, ESP modules, hydraulic brake boosters, master cylinders, brake fluid reservoirs, and all the supporting hardware that goes with them. Continental is in exactly the same position. So is ZF Friedrichshafen, so is Brembo, so is Mando. So is every Tier 1 supplier that has spent the last 50 years perfecting, patenting, and profiting from hydraulic brake technology. The moment EMB becomes mainstream, that entire product category begins to die. Not quickly, not tomorrow, but irreversibly. Now that transition will not happen overnight. Hydraulic brakes will remain on the majority of vehicles for years. The regulatory approval process for brake-by-wire systems has been a significant barrier in Europe and North America, where homologation requirements for primary braking systems are extraordinarily strict. Those markets will take time to adapt their standards. But China already moved. In May 2025, China issued its new mandatory braking standard, GB 21670-2025, which took effect on January 1, 2026, and formally defines electronic transmission braking systems as a legitimate and approved production category for passenger vehicles. That regulatory move was not accidental, and it was not rushed. It was a deliberate, coordinated signal from the Chinese government and industry that the era of hydraulic braking in premium vehicles was ending, and that Chinese manufacturers would lead the replacement, and the rest of the industry is watching very carefully. Beyond the EX7, multiple Chinese manufacturers are already deep in development and testing. Chery's own ET series high-end EVs have passed EMB testing under the new GB 21670-25 standard. Kaiyi Automobile and U-Power are working with Beijing West Industries to integrate EMB into new models with four-wheel independent braking control. The Li Auto L9 Levis has been cited by industry sources as a potential future EMB candidate, though that has not been officially confirmed. What China has done with the EX7 is not just launch a car. They have proven, in the most definitive way possible, that EMB works in the real world, at scale, in a production vehicle, under real conditions, with real customers. That proof of concept is worth more than 1,000 engineering papers, or a decade of press releases from Western suppliers promising brake-by-wire was coming soon. Bosch and Continental are not in full panic mode yet. They are too large and too diversified for a single vehicle launch to shake their foundations overnight. But somewhere deep inside their product planning departments right now, there are engineers and executives staring at long-term revenue forecasts, quietly adjusting the numbers on their hydraulic brake divisions, and asking each other a question they never expected to be asking this soon. How long do we have? So where does this go from here? The Exeed EX7 is the first domino. And in China, when the first domino falls in a technology race, the rest follow faster than anyone outside the country ever expects. The EMB system fitted to the EX7 was developed with aviation-grade redundancy requirements, the same philosophy used in commercial aircraft braking systems, where a single point of failure is simply not acceptable. That means multiple independent backup systems that activate instantly and seamlessly if any primary component fails, with the driver feeling nothing but continued, reliable deceleration. That was the engineering mountain that Western suppliers spent decades arguing was too expensive, too complex, and too risky to clear for a mass-market vehicle. Chery cleared it, built it, certified it, and put it on sale. And now that the blueprint exists in a production car, every other Chinese manufacturer has a concrete, proven reference point to develop from. The second EMB vehicle will take far less time to develop than the first. The third will take even less. This is how technology adoption accelerates in China. And it is why the gap between China's first and China's mainstream is always shorter than the rest of the world predicts. The implications for autonomous driving are enormous and cannot be overstated. A fully software-controlled braking system that responds in under 20 milliseconds and communicates directly with every other system in the vehicle is not just better for human drivers. It is a fundamental requirement for truly capable autonomous vehicles. You cannot build a self-driving car that reacts faster than a human on a hydraulic braking system designed in the 1920s. The sensor sees the obstacle, the computer makes the decision, and then it waits 300 milliseconds for the hydraulics to catch up. That gap is where accidents happen. The X7 just closed that gap entirely. For everyday consumers, the long-term benefits are significant and accumulate over the life of the vehicle. No brake fluid to replace every 2 years, no hydraulic lines to corrode or develop slow leaks, no master cylinder to fail at the worst possible moment, no brake fade under sustained hard driving on mountain roads, and braking performance that can genuinely improve with over-the-air software updates. Not with a mechanic visit, not with new parts, but with a file downloaded overnight while the car sits in your driveway. This is the direction the entire automotive industry is heading. Every serious manufacturer in the world knows it. The debate has never been about whether EMB would eventually replace hydraulics. The debate was always about who would do it first and when. China just answered both questions. The Exeed EX7 is on sale now, starting from the equivalent of around $29,000 for a vehicle with world-first braking technology, 20-kilometer range option, 800-volt charging architecture, and a 30-inch 6-Quene display. That combination of technology and value should be making boardrooms in Stuttgart, Munich, and Detroit deeply, deeply uncomfortable. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think hydraulic brakes will disappear completely from passenger cars within the next 10 years? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I am going to pin the best response at the top so everyone can see it. And if this video showed you something you had never seen before, subscribe and hit the bell, because the next video is already going to surprise you even more.